I absolutely love this time of year. For me and many others, what the New Year's represents, it can mean a new beginning, a fresh start, if you will. And I think, as I think about what we're going to be doing this morning, you can make this as real as you want to make it. So, if when we do this ceremony, you want to, and I'm going to explain all of this, sit in your seat, go through the motions, come up here, go through the burning bowl thing, and then go back and sit down, you're going to have that experience. Or you can sit in the space that you're in right now, and you can say, I'm a divine being, I'm powerful, and if I want to choose to create a new reality, I can begin that new reality right here. And I'm going to tell you right now, there's going to be a big difference in what happens depending on which road you choose. Nobody can tell you which one to do, and I'm not going to judge anybody right, wrong, or indifferent for how you do it. But what I'm saying is this can be a powerful new start to not only this year, but potentially even your life. Because the new year, if we are willing to, gives us permission to break out of the routine and to actually do things differently. That's the kind of power that it has. And over the next 2 weeks, we're going to be doing these different ceremonies. So in other words, we're going to be doing the burning bowl, which is the first part of it. And then next week, we're actually going to be doing a modified version of a white stone ceremony. So, the burning bowl. Everybody, I'm assuming, got the memo and everybody brought in their own burning bowls, right? Everybody got one? What? No? Kind of curious, how many people have done a burning bowl before? Okay, most, but not all. So, I'm excited for the people, whether you've done them before or not. Again, I'm just hoping that this one might be a little bit different, right? So, just so everybody knows, the new people especially, that we do this every single January at Unity. This is kind of one of our traditions. And this allows us to, again, what's the point of this part of this process? Letting go. Well, what are we letting go of? Well, some people will say, I just want to let go of 2024. Please, dear God, thank you. But it can be way more than that. Way more than that. How about letting go of, I don't know, some limited beliefs? How about some patterns that you have that you're not really fond of? How about this thought or idea that you're separate from God? How about, I don't know, a relationship that you're struggling with? How about a physical challenge you're struggling with? Because you see, in the mind of God, you are perfect, you are whole, you are complete. That's how God's looking at you right now. And yet, in our mind, we can tell ourselves, well, I don't know, what can we tell ourselves, folks? I don't know about you, but sometimes I can really get on my case and start getting, I think we all know what I'm talking about, right? Next week, after we let go this week, is going to be, again, the white stone ceremony. And what does that allow us to do is once we kind of let go of everything, well, then don't you want to replace it with something? I would hope so. I would hope so. So this is where we get to focus on something that we will claim for 2025. So if we choose to, we can choose to live our life consciously, and we can say, you know what, I think for this year, that's where I'm going. Because when we make that decision, because of who and what you are, which is a powerful creator, the entire universe is going to line up behind you and say, giddy up, let's go. We've been waiting. We've been waiting for you to tell us what you want to do so that we can support you, because you are loved and you are that powerful. Yeah. So again, the white stone ceremony is about welcoming the new, whatever new version you decide to choose. Right? So I want to just say that this is actually a process that we go through. So in other words, it's not a one and done kind of a thing. It's not like, well, I'm going to go to a burning bowl ceremony and then I'm going to go to a white stone ceremony and then everything is going to be great and grand. Because if you really engage in this process, if you really do it, I hope you're ready. And I mean that in such a loving and good way, because I promise you, your life will change. It will. And it's not going to stop when we're done with this ceremony or next week's ceremony, because what happens is you have literally engaged in the process of change, and the universe is going to bring it to you in the most loving, compassionate way it can, but it is going to change you. That much I can promise you. So the first thing, in order to let more good into our life, then is we need to make room for it, right? We got to make room. I mean, think about this. You want a new wardrobe. I don't know about you, but you know the first thing I do is when I think about I want some new clothes, guess what the first thing I do is? I empty out my old one. And then what do? I go give it away. That's what I do. And certainly Unity Principles will teach us that. Make room. However you need to do it, make room. Well, that's a great explanation of how to do it physically, but how do we do it spiritually, emotionally, mentally? How do we do that? Well, there's a process that you can go through, right? Because when we actually let go of stuff, we get to move on. Because if not, what happens is it's like you just keep filling up, you keep filling up, you keep filling up, you keep filling up. Guess what happens when you keep filling up? You get stuck. Has anybody in this room ever felt like they were spiritually stuck? Everybody, raise your hand. Thank you. We all have. It's like, I hate to get graphic, but it's like you're spiritually constipated, right? That's kind of what it's like. It's like, well, okay, well, then what do I do about that? You let go. That's what you do about that. You let go, right? So maybe you're holding on to an old relationship. Maybe you're holding on to a business that hasn't worked out the way you thought it would be. Maybe you're holding on to mistakes that you've made. Maybe you're holding on to an opportunity that you missed and you can't let it go. I don't know what it is that you personally are holding on to, right? But what happens is when you won't let the stuff go, it blocks, literally, your consciousness. And then you're not able to open up to the guidance, to what God is really trying to show you. Because I promise you, if you say, hey, I'm here and I want to go over here, God, and I really want to do this. I really want this experience in my life. The entire universe is going to show up behind you. You see me do this all the time. And the universe is going to go, we got you, right? But if you're so plugged up that you can't see it, feel it, sense it, then you're not going to have any kind of an experience. You're not going to change. And is it because God didn't show up? No. It's because you didn't bother giving enough room in your consciousness to let God come in. And that's why it's hugely important to go through the process of letting go so you can make room for the new. There's no difference between the physical side of it, the emotional side of it, the spiritual side of it. No difference. We need to make room so that God can come through and work through us, so that you can actually experience what it's like to do something maybe a little bit different than the way that you're doing it right now. Maybe that's exactly what you need. I'm going to say probably is. So anything that you're struggling with, I'm going to suggest that what needs to happen is you need to show up differently. You need to approach it from a different vibration, a different thought process. Because when you do it and you come from a different thought process, what happens is God can come through. Literally, whatever's going on in your life, do you know you are one thought away, one idea away that is different than anything that you've thought before to help you through whatever it is you got going on? That's spirit. That's the way God works, because everything starts, well, really it starts here. But when you have that connection, when you let God flow through you, what happens is out of nowhere, you'll get this crazy idea to do something different than you've ever done it before. And then all of a sudden, guess what? You show up differently. You act differently. You speak differently. You are completely a different person than you were prior to that moment. Folks, that's what it's all about. Your expansion, your growth, the way that you show up changes when all of a sudden you start playing with these spiritual principles. That's what it's all about, right? We have a tradition over the last couple of years that I want to share with you again. How many people remember? Last year I told the same story about the Weemics. How many remember that? I got one or two people showing up. Story time, kids. The Weemics were small wooden people Each of the wooden people was carved by a woodmaker named Eli. His workshop sat on a hill overlooking their village. Every Weemick was different. Some had big noses, others had large eyes. Some were tall, others were short. Some wore hats, others wore coats. But all were made by the same carver and all lived in the village. And all day, every day, the Weemicks did the same thing. They gave each other stickers. Each Weemick had a box of golden stickers, golden star stickers, and a box of gray dot stickers. Up and down the streets, all over the city, people could be seen sticking stars or dots on one another. The pretty ones, those with smooth wood and fine paint, always got the golden stickers. But if the wood was roughed or the paint chipped, the Weemicks gave gray dots. The talented ones got stars too. Some could lift the big sticks high above their heads or jump over tall boxes. Still others knew big words or could sing very pretty songs. Everyone gave them stars. Some Weemicks had stars all over them. Every time they got a star, it made them feel so good that they did something else and got another star, of course. Others, though, could do little. They got dots. Punchinello was one of these. He tried to jump high like the others, but he always fell. And when he fell, the others would gather around and give him dots. Sometimes when he fell, it would scar his wood, so the people would give him more dots. After a while, he had so many dots that he didn't want to go outside. He was afraid he would do something dumb, such as to forget his hat or step in the water, and then people would give him another dot. In fact, he had so many gray dots that some people would come up and give him one without a reason. He deserves lots of dots, the wooden people would agree with one another. He's really not a good wooden person. After a while, Punchinello believed them. I'm not a good Weemick, he would say. I'm stupid, I'm clumsy, I'm ugly. The few times he went outside, he hung around with other Weemicks who had a lot of dots. He felt better around them. One day he met a Weemick who was unlike any he'd ever met. She had no dots or stars. She was just wooden. Her name was Lulia. It wasn't that people didn't try to give her stickers. It's just that the stickers didn't stick. Some admired Lulia for not having dots, so they would run up and give her a star, but it would fall off. Some would look down on her for not having any stars, so they would give her a dot, but it wouldn't stay either. That's the way I want to be, said Punchinello. I don't want anyone's marks. So he asked the stickerless Weemick how she did it. It's easy, Lulia replied. Every day I go see Eli. Eli? Yes, Eli, the woodcarver. I sit up in the workshop with him. Why? I don't know. Why don't you go find out yourself? Go up the hill, he's there. And with that, the Weemick, with no marks, turned and skipped away. But he won't want to see me, Punchinello cried out. Lulia didn't hear, so Punchinello went home. He sat near a window and watched the wooden people as they scurried around, giving each other stars and dots. It's not right, he muttered to himself, and he resolved to go see Eli. He walked up the narrow path to the top of the hill and stepped into the big shop. His wooden eyes widened at the size of everything. The stool was tall as he was. He had to stretch on his tiptoes to see the top of the workbench. A hammer was so long, it was as long as his arm. Punchinello swallowed hard, looked around, and said, I can't, I'm not staying here. And he turned to leave, and then he heard his name. Punchinello. The voice was deep and strong. Punchinello stopped. Punchinello, how good to see you. Come, let me have a look at you. Punchinello turned slowly and looked at the large, bearded craftsman. You know my name? The little Weemick asked. Well, of course I do. I made you. Eli stooped down and picked him up and set him on a bench. The maker spoke thoughtful as he inspected the gray circles. Looks like you've been given some bad marks. I didn't mean to get them. I really tried hard, said Punchinello. Oh, you don't ever have to defend yourself to me, child. I don't care what other Weemicks think. You don't? No, and you shouldn't either. Who are they to give stars or dots? They're Weemicks, just like you. What they think doesn't matter, Punchinello. All that matters is what I think. And you know what? I think you're pretty special. Punchinello laughed. Me? Special? Why? I can't walk fast. I can't jump. My paint is peeling. Why do I matter to you? Eli looked at Punchinello, put his hands on those small wooden shoulders, and spoke very slowly. Because you're mine. That's why you matter to me. Every day I've been hoping you'd come see me. Well, I came because I met someone who had no marks. I know, she told me about you. Why don't the stickers stay on her? Because she has decided that what I think is more important than what they think. Always remember this. The stickers only stick if you let them. What? The stickers only stick if they matter to you. The more you trust my love, the less you care about the stickers. I'm not sure I understand. You will, but it's going to take a little bit of time. You've got a lot of marks. For now, just come to see me every day and let me remind you how much I care and how much I love you. Eli lifted Punchinello off the bench and set him on the ground. Remember, Eli, as the Weemick walked out the door, you are special to me because I made you, and I don't make mistakes. Punchinello didn't stop, but in his heart he thought, I think he really means it. And when he did, the very first gray dot fell to the floor. That story always moves me because I don't know about you, but for me, I had a lot of dots. And it took a while for me as I started my own process, my own journey to understand just how many dots I had, right? Think about this. How many of those dots have you placed in your own life? For some, maybe not too many. Good for you. For others, we got covered with them a lot. I don't know about you, but that's my camp. That's how I grew up. And it's taken a lifetime to understand that and to slowly but surely remove the dots. And I can just tell you that the thing that has helped me more than anything has been this place, right here. Because I knew when I walked in here, I could be loved unconditionally. Didn't matter, anything didn't matter. I was loved and I was supported as I started to do my own healing work, right? Often what I found is in this journey, I wasn't even aware of the dots because they're stuck way back in our subconscious mind. We don't even know we have them, right? But what happens is they're still impacting us and they're impacting our lives. It's kind of like that's what's controlling how you think, what you do, what you say, everything. It literally, those dots are the things that actually are the things that are driving you. And so when you start to do your own work, you start to understand that. Right? When we're born, when we come out, we're as pure as a driven snow. We have unlimited potential. And we have everything that we need inside of us to fulfill our sole purpose. Everything. It's there. But somehow what happens is over time, we get covered with dots. Right? In some cases, we get covered with stars. Right? Forgetting all along that our true essence has nothing to do with stars or dots. Nothing, right? And while some of those dots and stickers are put on by other people and by different organizations and in some cases religions, unfortunately, the one that keeps putting those dots on us more than anybody is ourselves because we think we deserve dots. And it can sound something like this, well, when are you going to figure this out, Mike? When are you finally going to get it? Why can't you do this? What's wrong with you, Mike? And on and on and on it goes, right? Here's the good news. Today, we can change all of that. You see, what Lulia knew and Eli knew was that the only way the stickers can stick is if we, nobody else, will allow them. And today, we get to make a new decision, and that's to not allow any of the stickers to stick, if that's what we decide.
Hey, it's Reverend Mike here. I just wanted to stop for a moment before you get on with your day, and thank you so much for spending time with us this morning. It means the world to us, and I just wanted to let you know if there's anything that we can do to make your experience even better, please do not hesitate to reach out by going to our website, I also wanted to offer you the opportunity for us to get together and sit down so I could get to know you a little bit better and answer any questions that you have. I can either do that by either getting together in person, have a cup of coffee, or we can meet online via Zoom. If you're interested, please don't hesitate to reach out. You can reach me at michael@courage2thrive.com. And lastly, if you find these messages are helping you, we would be tremendously grateful if you'd consider donating to the center. The best and the easiest way to do that is simple. Just go to our website. Again, thank you so much. Hope you have a great day. Hope you're doing well. God bless, and we hope to see you soon. Bye-bye now.